Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaranari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaranari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaranari Yashodanandana Vrajanandana Yashodanandana Vrajanandana Yashodanandana Vrajanandana Yashodanandana Vrajanandana Yamunatira Vanata Yamunatira Vanata Natira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaranari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaranari Yashodanandana Vrajanandana Yashodanandana Vrajanandana Yamunatira Vanata Yamunatira Vanata Yamunatira Vanata Yamunatira Vanata Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki
Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki.
So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, Lord Rishabdev teachings to his sons. So we'll recite 18th sloka. I just read the 17th one first. Kastam swayam tad abhigno vipaschid avidyayam antare vartamanam drustva punastam sagruna kubuddhim prayojayed utpattagam yathandham. Text 18. So you can repeat this. Guru na sasyat svajano na sasyat.
Guru na sasyat svajana sasyat.
Pita na sasyat janani na sasyat.
Pita na sasyat janani sasyat.
Daivam na tatsyan na patischa sasyat.
Daivam na tatsyan na patischa sasyat.
Namo chayedya samupeta mrutyum.
Namochayeda samupeta mrityum.
Guru nasasya jano nasasya.
Guru nasasya svajano nasasya.
Pita nasasya janani nasasya.
Pita nasasya janani nasasya.
Daivam natasya napatischa sasya.
Daivam natasya napagishta sasya.
Namo chayedya sumapeta murtyum.
Namochayeda samupeta mrityum.
Guru nasasya svajano nasasya.
Guru nasasya svajano nasasya.
Pita nasasya janani nasasya.
Pita nasasya janani nasasya.
Daivam natasya napatischa sasya.
Daivam natasya napagishta sasya.
Namo chayedya samupeta mrutyum.
Namochayeda samupeta mrityum.
Nasasya svajano nasasya.
Guru nasasya svajano nasasya.
Pita nasasya janani nasasya.
Pita nasasya janani nasasya.
Daivam natasya napadishta sasya.
Daivam natasya napatishta sasya.
Namo chayedya samupeta mrityum.
Namo chayedya samupeta mrityum.
Guru nasasya svajano nasasya.
Guru nasasya svajano nasasya.
Pita nasasya janani nasasya.
Pita nasasya janani nasasya.
Daivam natasya napaticha sasya.
Daivam natasya napatishta sasya.
Namo chayedya samupeta mrityum.
Namo chayedya samupeta mrityum.
Guru nasasya svajano nasasya.
Guru nasasya svajano nasasya.
Pita nasasya janani nasasya.
Daivam natasya napatishta sasya. Namo chayedya samupeta mrityum.
So what two are meaning? Guroho,
Guru,
a spiritual master.
spiritual master.
Na,
Na,
not.
not.
Saha,
Saha,
he.
he.
Syat,
Syat,
should become.
should become.
Swajanaha,
Swajanaha,
a relative.
relative.
Na,
Na,
not.
not.
Sa,
Sa,
such a person.
such a person.
Syat,
Syat,
should become.
should become.
Pita,
Pita,
a father.
a father.
Na,
Na,
not.
not.
Saha,
Saha,
he.
he.
Syat,
Syat,
should become.
should become.
Janani,
Janani,
a mother.
a mother.
Na,
Na,
not.
not.
Sa,
Sa,
she.
she.
Syat,
Syat,
should become.
should become.
Daivam,
Daivam,
the worshipable deity.
the worshipable deity.
Na,
Na,
not.
not.
That,
That
Syat,
Syat,
should become.
should become.
Na,
Na,
not.
not.
Patihi,
Patihi,
a husband.
a husband.
Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Saha,
Sa,
he.
he.
Syat,
Syat,
should become.
should become.
Na,
Na,
not.
not.
Mochayet,
Mochayet,
can deliver.
can deliver.
Yaha,
Yah,
who.
who.
Samupeta mrutyum,
Samupeta mrityum.
one who is on the path of repeated birth and death.
One who is on the path of repeated birth and death.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation: one who cannot deliver his dependence from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. Purport: there are many spiritual masters, but Rishabdev advised that one should not become a spiritual master if he is unable to save his disciple from the path of birth and death. Unless one is a pure devotee of Krishna, he cannot save himself from the path of repeated birth and death. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naitamameti so Arjuna. One can stop birth and death only by returning home back to Godhead. However, can go back home, back to Godhead, unless he understands the spiritual Supreme Lord in truth. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vetti tatvatah. We have many instances in history illustrating Rishadev's instructions. Sukracharya was rejected by Bali Maharaj due to his inability to save Bali Maharaj from the path of repeated birth and death. Sukracharya was not a pure devotee. He was more or less inclined to fruitive activity, and he objected when Bali Maharaj promised to give everything to Lord Vishnu. Actually, one is supposed to give everything to the Lord because everything belongs to the Lord. Consequently, the Supreme Lord advised in Bhagavad Gita 9.27, Yat karoshi yadasnasi yajjoshi dadashi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. O son of Kunti, all that you do and all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all austerities that you may perform, should be done as an offering unto me. This is bhakti. Unless one is devoted, he cannot give everything to Supreme Lord. Unless one can do so, he cannot become a spiritual master, husband, father, mother. Similarly, the wives of the Brahmanas who were performing sacrifices given up their relatives just to satisfy Krishna. This is an example of a wife rejecting a husband who cannot deliver her from the impending dangers of birth and death. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj rejected his father, and Bharat Maharaj rejected his mother, Janani Nasasyat. The word Daivam indicates a demigod or one who accepts worship from a dependent. Ordinarily, the spiritual master, husband, father, mother, or superior relatives accept worship from an inferior relative. But here Rishabdev forbids this. First, the father, spiritual master, or husband must be able to release the dependent from repeated birth and death. If he cannot do so, the plunges himself into the ocean of reapproachment of his unlawful activities. Everyone should be very responsible and take charge of his dependents just as a spiritual master takes charge of his disciples or a father takes charge of his son. All these responsibilities cannot be discharged honestly unless one can save the dependent from the repeated birth and death. I just read the book translation also, 917. If someone is ignorant and addicted to the path of samsara, how can one who is actually learned, merciful, and advanced in spiritual knowledge engage himself in fruitful activity and thus further entangle him in material existence? If a blind man is walking down the wrong path, how can a gentle man allow him to continue on his way to danger? How can he approve this method? No wise or kind man can allow this. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamavyam Dadati Swakatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sadivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha Namaham Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschakati Sutarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। हरि ओम तत्सत्। हरे कृष्ण। Some of this was the very important sloka, 18th one. So we are discussing about the teachings of Lord Rishabdev, and almost we are at the end of his instructions. So, and after this, Rishabdev is going to enter into the Vanaprastha, and he is going to into the forest. And here this almost like these were the last instructions what he is giving. So one who cannot deliver his dependents from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. So there are two kinds of people, or two sections of a people. One is called a teacher, one is called a student. One is a knower of the knowledge, one is seeking for the knowledge. So we can't say that we don't want teachers. I can do on my own. That doesn't work at all. Even though if you take to any mundane material subject, for that we have each and every department there is a teacher, and it is a student based on his interest, he can gain the knowledge from the teacher. So teacher is ready to give the knowledge to the student, but it depends on the ability of a student, how much he respects the teacher and how much he serves, and he gets that knowledge from the teacher. So but we can see like there are so many societies, people they don't want they want this classless society, and they don't want this teacher student kind of society, or like subordinate, or authoritative kind of society. We can see like there are so many incidents which are there in the history, where people are wanted to be a classless society, but we can see that was not that happy society. Krishna always says in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnam Maya system, he has created one system where everyone can be peacefully sustained there. And nowadays people, they don't want godless society. They don't want to accept a god and his instructions. So they create so-called societies, but definitely someone is not following the authority, so definitely they have to face so many problems. It's very important to have these kind of classes based on their qualities, not based on the birth, or based on the especially in the birth. Nowadays we can see that the Brahmanas who are born from their family, they claim themselves as Brahmanas, but they are not qualified Brahmanas. Prabhupada always says when he started Gurukul in Vrindavan and in the West also. So Prabhupada was thinking whether people will send their children or not to the Gurukul. Because they have this vague idea that if we send children, so what they will learn in the Gurukul? Prabhupada wanted in this Gurukul to create Brahmanas. But people in the outside, they have this wrong understanding about the Brahmanas. In Vrindavan or in Dham, Holy Dham like Jagannath Puri, we can see they are so-called Brahmanas, they keep begging. They keep begging or they keep stealing. So these kind of activities people have seen, and when these opportunities are there where they can go and get trained as Brahmanas, but people are hesitating to send it because they have seen the society going in a wrong direction and they don't want their children also go in that wrong direction. But unless until they don't have right knowledge, what is the qualification of a Brahmana and how to see who is a Brahmana, right Brahmana, and from whom I can take the knowledge from a right Brahmana, whether he is authorized or not. If they don't have this knowledge, they treat everyone as a wrong person. So they misunderstand that. So that kind of education or that kind of things are happening in the society. We can see that. But in spiritual progress also, in the spiritual path also, we need a spiritual master. Even though if you see, Prabhupada so many times he says in the classes that people born in the Brahmin family, but still they are not a Brahmanas. They are Shudras. Janmana Jayate Shudra. But they do so many ritualistic ceremonies for them, for the child, then they become qualified Brahmana. Not that if a child born in a Brahmin family becomes a Brahmana, then why he has to go through so many samskaras? Why it is necessary? Because he is born as a Shudra. Janmana Jayate Shudra. Then samskarat bhavet dvija. So when they perform this Dashavida samskaras, then only he becomes eligible as a Brahmana. They have to go through all these samskaras. Only Shudra will have only one samskara, that is marriage ceremony. Other than that, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya has to follow these 10 samskaras whole life. And if a Brahmana, he doesn't do any Garbhadhan samskara, then he is no more qualified as a Brahmana even though he has done other samskaras. Prabhupada says this. Because he loses that capacity, and the next generation which they are going to without Garbhadhan samskara, only Shudras will born because they didn't do the proper samskara. So it is very, very important even for a devotee to follow, a Grahastha devotee to follow this samskaras. There are 10 samskaras, starting from the begetting children, till the end, till the death. There are 10 samskaras which everyone has to follow. And if you see here, Prabhupada clearly mentions, and this Rishabdev clearly mentions, so one who is not delivering the dependence from the repeated birth and death, from the path of repeated birth and death, they can never become a spiritual master, father, husband, mother, or a worshipable demigod. We know that definitely demigods, they don't have ability to deliver from the repeated birth and death. They can't give that moksha. They don't have. We can see this incident from the Hiranyakashipu pastime. He want to become immortal, and he do tapasya and to please the Lord Brahma. And when Lord Brahma comes, then he asks, I want to become immortal. Then Brahma says I am only not the immortal. How can I give you? which I don't have. So with this we can say, like, demigods, they can't deliver. So people who are worshipping demigods thinking that they will deliver me from this repeated birth and death, so they are foolish. And one cannot become a spiritual master, a father, husband, and a mother. So this is very responsible position actually, like, a father, husband, mother. So this kind of knowledge has to be given from the childhood to the children, or else if parents doesn't have this knowledge, then they should not beget their children, because simply in the Prabhupada writes in the purport, they have to face so many reproachable reproachable for these unlawful activities. This is unlawful activity. This is against the nature. And we can see nowadays, I was born like that. Why I was born being just by chance. By chance. They don't have proper plan. Samskara, Garbhadhan Samskara means proper plan with proper consciousness, begetting a children, uniting together with having very prayerful mood, not that which I agitated with the sex desire, then I want to enjoy. So I enjoyed it, and oops, you won. This is like, there is no consciousness at all. The consciousness only like degraded consciousness. Now what will help a children with this consciousness? Definitely tomorrow we see, like, children doing so many abominable activities, like, to whom should we blame? Parents. They have been not taking care of all these things. They have to follow the samskara. If not, they should not become a father or a mother. And even a husband. Husband should deliver, like, a wife. He is a head of a house, so he has to set this certain activities in the home, that they have to come together and do some spiritual activities that will nourish, that will make them family united together. Or else there will be so many quarrels for small things also. Until unless they don't spend their time with each other, understand each other, there will be no, like, happy family. Or there will be always, for small things, there will be a lot of quarrel. There will be a lot of fights. So these are very nice samskaras which has to be followed. Or else, like, it's not a right to take to that responsible position. It's very responsible position. Or else you have to go through so many you have to face so many repercussions. So this is unlawful, like, there is a punishment for that. So Prabhupada says many times, like, when he made Vrindavan as his headquarters, so few of the people, they started saying, like, why you have made Vrindavan as your headquarters? Because they have bad, what we call, experience in the Vrindavan, because of this bad gurus, so-called spiritual masters. They demand for money, they demand for worship, they demand for respect, but they are not qualified. So they were complaining Prabhupada that, why you have made this. Prabhupada was also concerned about that. He was concerned about the so-called gurus who are there. Now also we can see there are so many gurus. Here and there they pop up, now and then. And they speak so many things which are not at all relevant to the scriptures. And people, they just simply carried away and get cheated. And when the people who are following this so-called gurus, The guru is going to fall into the ditch, and all the disciples who are there following, they also fall into the ditch. Generally, in the scriptures, it is said a spiritual master should be qualified and he should give the teachings to his disciples, and tomorrow that disciple becomes a spiritual master. That's a qualification. But nowadays, we can't see that kind of system. That is called Guru Parampara. We can't see that kind of system. People, they break this chain. Wantedly they break, because they don't want to some other person to get that, take that his position. Because he has a fear of his position. If someone comes and takes one of my disciples sit in my position, and what will happen to me? They are very much fearful. Spiritual master or a devotee or a Vaishnava, he never be fearful. He is fearless. Whichever situation comes, he is peaceful, he is happy. Because he don't have any attachments to this material things, material qualification. So it's very important, and in Bhagavad Gita and many places, the qualities of the guru and disciple has been nicely described. So one has to read the scriptures to understand that nicely. So one who doesn't read the scriptures, they are said slowly, they go out of the movement. They have to read and understand the scriptures and try to follow it. That's very important. So here there are many examples has been given, and these many incidents happen where one who is not qualified, so they have rejected. Here Prabhupada nicely explains in purport, how Sukracharya has been rejected by Bali Maharaj due to his inability to save Bali Maharaj from the path of repeated birth and death. Why Bali Maharaj rejected Sukracharya is also very important to understand. There was a very nice chapter in Srimad Bhagavatam 8th canto, it comes. So, Sukracharya is a teacher for all the demons, and Bali Maharaj was the leader of all the demons. So, when the incidents came where Vamandev appeared and he wanted to take back the position of the Indra, because Bali Maharaj has won over the demigods and they have occupied. And they got that spiritual strength by following the instructions of the Guru. Even though Sukracharya was a demon's guru, but still he has that Brahminical power. He has such a power where he can revive the Bali Maharaj. When he was died, he revived him, he gave him his life. He brought back Bali Maharaj to life. He is not an ordinary person. He is not an ordinary guru. But still, you can see there are some flaws or some misunderstanding, or they don't have complete knowledge. So, Sukracharya was doing all these things just to have a nice position. Because Bali Maharaj is not there, then how he maintained himself? That was his fear. So Guru was having this fear, and Guru should not be dependent on the disciple. Rather, disciple should depend on the Guru. But here Sukracharya was dependent on Bali Maharaj. So that's where he loses his position as a Guru. And when the time came when he is about to give everything to the Lord, Sukracharya opposed, saying that don't give, because he has this fear inside that if you give everything to the Lord, where will I go? How I will take care? See, a guru who is dependent on the Lord will not depend on anyone. He knows that Lord is my well-wisher, he is a maintainer, take care of everyone. So he depends on his or material things. He will depend on the Lord. So here Sukracharya was not having that understanding. So what he did, he was having this fear inside. If he gives everything to the Lord, where will I go? How will I sustain? Then he was opposing not to give anything. At that point, because Bali Maharaj, even though he is a demon, but he's been studied all the scriptures under same Guru, Sukracharya. But he remembered the what we call the instructions from the scriptures that when Lord appears, when Lord asks anything, you should not hold it. You should give everything because everything belongs to Lord. That was the teachings he has been taught. And now Shukracharya is opposing not to give this to the Lord. Then he said, your teachings are wrong. So you are not my spiritual master, I reject it. He rejected. Similarly, in our life, if we think that some guru is not teaching the right thing, then immediately we can reject. But rejecting means not on by own. See here, Bali Maharaj, he didn't just rejected on his own. He has concerned with other Brahmanas, he was concerned from the Vedas, scriptures. So similarly, we should also have that knowledge and we should approach some authorities before taking the decision. In ISKCON also these kind of few instances have happened. So where gurus fall down from the position, so they are being carried away by the Maya is so strong. If you are not catch hold the Lord's lotus feet, Maya will just drag you out. She shows money, name, fame, and the last allurement was you are the Lord, God. That was the last Maya snare. So she can carry away. So, but if you don't hold the Lord's lotus feet, you will be just carried away. So it's very difficult, but yes, when you are dependent on acharyas and when dependent on the Lord, definitely they will help us. So this was one of the incident from the scriptures where guru is being rejected. And he said Prabhupada quoting this Bhagavad Gita sloka 9.27, Yat karoshi yad asnasi, and saying that this is bhakti. Whatever you do, all that what you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all austerities that you perform, should be done as an offering unto me. And Prabhupada says this is the bhakti. And unless one is devoted, he cannot give everything to the Lord. Until unless you are not devoted to the Lord, you can't give from your heart. You will not give. So Prabhupada says if unless one can do so, he cannot become a spiritual master. So means a spiritual master is a devotee. He is devoted to the Lord and he is ready to give or to do whatever Lord says. He don't have second thought. We have so many instances Swayambhu Manu's two sons. One is Prachinabari. Yes. Priyavrata, yes. Uttanapad and Priyavrata. So when Uttanapad, he sufficiently ruled. He is a junior actually, he is a younger brother. But Priyavrata, he took renounced order of life from birth, from starting. So Uttanapad, he is the only one who can rule after, Swayambhu Manu has given the kingdom to him. So he ruled sufficiently, then Dhruva Maharaj, then descendants, everyone has ruled sufficiently. And there is no other person who are not there qualified to rule the kingdom, to take care of this universe. Then Swayambhu Manu approached the Priyavrata. saying that no one is there. Now you are the only one son who has left, so please you take it. But Priyavrata says like I'm already in the realms of life. How can I come back? He is like falling from a position. But for the higher purpose, so they have been suggested like Swayambhu Manu and like Swayambhu Manu, like Priyavrata is a student of Narad Muni, and Narad Muni is a very strong devotee and very strong spiritual master, and whatever he teaches, like students also become very strong in the renounced order of life. So almost all the students of Narad Muni are in the renounced order of life. So, and Swayambhu Manu and Narad Muni both are brothers. Then when Swayambhu Manu approaches Priyavrata, his son, then they were like not agreeing for that. Then Brahma involved, because Brahma is a father and he is a spiritual master also for both. Then he approached, saying that no, whatever I say is not that on my own. I say on behalf of the Lord, and Lord has instructed. So now you have to become a renounce. You have to give up this renounced order of life and enter into this life of taking care of kingdom, and no one is there. Then immediately Priyavrata, he gave up his ideas. He don't have any other second thought like what will happen to my position. People may think about wrong about me because I am falling down from my position. Vanaprastha is higher than the Grahastha, right? But he has been brought back. He is stepping down. So he never thought like people what they think about me. But simply he just accepted the instruction. Because even Narad Muni, he never opposed, saying that why you are coming in between, and I already made him like he is about to go back to God and you are taking him back. No, he said like whatever you say is right. And they also acknowledge this, yes, Brahma, whatever he says, he is also pure devotee of the Lord. Whatever he says, it is the instructions of the Lord. And he speaks only in the instructions of the Lord, not on his own. So in this way, Priyavrata, he took immediately this responsible position to rule the kingdom, and he has 10 sons. Out of 3 were become a renounced life, and 7 becomes the again kings. So they divided Sapta Samudras. They have 7 islands, and they are being given one island to rule. So here, spiritual master, he follows this instructions of the Lord, and whatever happens, he don't think about his security, or he don't have any fear. Just do it. We can see how Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj in the time of COVID, so for preaching he went out, even though he is not supposed to go out in these bad situations, but he says instead of sitting inside and dying, I better to go in the warfield and die. So they are not fearless. They are not fearful of any situation, and they are happy to do that, and they don't take think about their life, about their position and all. Such a glorious spiritual master he is. And we see here Prahlad Maharaj, how he rejected the father Hiranyakashipu, and this wives of the Brahmanas, or the gopis who are there in the Vrindavan. So they give their everything, rejecting their husbands, relatives, and goes just to please the Lord Krishna. And we know that when they had been did like this, they had a fear little that how can we, because Krishna says no, why you came in the middle of the night, now you have to go back. So we have left everything and came back, and who will accept us? And Krishna says, don't worry, they will respect you, because they are doing for the Lord's praise, not for sense gratification, not for to satisfy their senses. Here people, they have this fear because they are attached to this sense gratification. They are attached to their own, enjoyment. When there is own enjoyment, you have to suffer also, and there will be some repercussions coming, blames comes, right? So we can see, like, there are so many incidents where so-called gurus are being caught red-handed, enjoying very badly, right? So doing so many nonsense activities, they are being caught like that. So the important thing is, like, we got this human life, which is very responsible, and when we use it in the as per suggested here by receptive, the instructions what suggested by receptive, if you follow, then definitely we can do something meaningful to our life. Or else, we just do some kind of nonsense activities, and there is no difference between us and humans and dogs. So the society will be a animal society, not a human society. So it's very important, to take up these responsibilities very nicely, and follow that very nicely under the injunctions of scriptures. And when it is done very nicely, then definitely we can overcome, or we can come out of this repeated birth and death. Not only I come out, and the dependent who are there, they will also come out of from this repeated birth and death. Or else a blind following a blind, they fall into the ditch. So we should not do that same mistake. So we should rightly use this. So I just pause for this today's class. So if you have any questions, comments, corrections.
I have one question. So probably like for Prahlad Maharaj, so when he is in home of Kayadu, so that times the spiritual master is like Narad Muni. But in Bali Maharaj, even if his spiritual master is like Shukracharya in the Daitya families, how he is getting the Krishna consciousness? What is the inspiration towards Krishna consciousness of Bali Maharaj?
Means Bali Maharaj, even though they are the demons, but still they have very nice culture. See, they are coming from the same family, demigods and demons. But you can see the teachings what they have. Even a Ravana, he is such a nice Brahmana, He was worshipping Lord Shiva. He was very doing very severe tapasya. Means they have these qualities, but they do for their own self. They are very selfish. So means they have been given some kind of knowledge, and that is being given by the mercy also. So they have been coming in touch with some of the pure devotees. So with that, they will get this kind of inclinations. And Bari Maharaj's case, it's, we can say, like, it's like what we call that, exceptional cases. This all, but just for our teaching, for our learning. So this is being kept in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, but we can't question, how come Bali Maharaj become a pure devotee? So even a Vritrasura can also become a pure devotee. Even a Gajendra can become a pure devotee. So to become a pure devotee, there is no need to have a qualification. Anyone can become a pure devotee. So that is also Lord's mercy. One way, without Lord's mercy, we can't get a spiritual master. Without spiritual master, we can't get Lord. So it's all interrelated. So it's all mercy of the Lord that Bali Maharaj was becoming a devotee. And you can see this is a very nice section reading about the pastimes of Bali Maharaj. Very nice. So it comes in 8th canto, and yeah.
Thank you for the nice class. This question is like, why Shudras are not allowed or given chance to do Gandham Sanskar? All the Sanskaras, etc. only one sanskara is there. And that is marriage. So why not other marriage?
See, Shudras, everyone is born as a Shudra, but when proper samskaras is being done, then they become qualified for a certain things, like eligible from the upper things, like Vaishya, Kshatriya, and Brahmana. But if someone is not doing all these things, it is a one, like it's supposed to be done actually. Everyone has to do these samskaras, but there is certain family, like where they are not at all interested on all these things, and they only do this marriage ceremony. They doom dam, they do only marriage ceremony. Other than that, they don't do any other ceremony. So for them, there is no other option for them. If, like I'm a Shudra, I have a son, means I want to beget a son, but I came to know that these are the things which I have to supposed to do. Then if I start doing it, then definitely, like my son can be eligible to become a Brahmana also based on his qualities. So this Garbhadan Samskar helps us to make our consciousness in the right way, pure. So with that pure consciousness, when we beget children, definitely those children will be having a very high intelligence or high qualities, godly qualities. So if someone is not following, if I didn't follow, then I didn't do that Garbhadan Samskar and begetted my children, then what can I do? I can only do, like marriage ceremony. And I never I never heard about these things. And some people also, they are so attached to their family culture. They say, like, oh, these are not there in our family, why should I do it? Then who can change them? This is being recommended for the human beings to do that. But if someone is not doing, then knowingly, like, they are not able to. So we can't do.
One more question. It is shloka that Janmana Jayate Shukra Sanskara Bhavati Teja. So this is valid only in the Kali Yuga or in all the ages?
In all ages.
Because I heard like in Kali Yuga everyone is born a Shukra, not in previous ages there was this system where from a Brahmana.
No. Parikshit Maharaj, even for when Krishna was born in there, they did all the samskaras there. It's not that Krishna don't want, it's not required, but as a setting an example, they were doing it. Means, you see, like when Yudhishthir Maharaj was there, then Parikshit Maharaj, he born. So almost Kali Yuga was there. Krishna has left already. But Yudhishthir Maharaj, he did all these samskaras. Because they were doing it before in the Dwapar Yuga. Sorry, Treta Dwapar Yuga. They were doing that. Or else why they do it only in the Kali Yuga, only for the Parikshit Maharaj, because he has born in the Kali Yuga? No. They were doing that. They do Upanayan Samskar also. All these things they do. It is recommended for everyone, not only for the Kali Yuga people. Highly recommended for Kali Yuga people, you can say. Because they were naturally, in the other yugas, they naturally sent to Gurukul and they are being given their naming ceremony, thread ceremony happens in the Gurukul everywhere. So, based on their nature, qualities, it happens.
You mentioned Guru should not be dependent on disciples and disciples should depend on the Guru. So on what basis and choices we have to understand?
Means like this is the basis which I gave example of Sukracharya and Bali Maharaj. See, Guru should not be dependent on the disciple saying that for his maintenance. Who will maintain? Let me have some disciples so that they'll get something for me and I can eat and have nice place, keep my position secure. For that. But rather for preaching, yes, Guru can give instructions to the disciple saying that I have been given this instruction by my spiritual master, please help me out. He can give the instructions to the disciples. Not that even I heard somewhere like a disciple should not go and correct a spiritual master. It's a big offense. It's a big offense. Not even think that my guru is doing something wrong. But yes, we should have the right knowledge also. So always, if you get any doubt, saying that I have a doubt in spiritual master that whether he is saying right or not, then yes, approach the authorities or the who are there very close to guru and understand his mood through them. If we are not able to understand directly. But rather we can't judge or we can't go and correct spiritual master saying that you have been wrong here or there. So it's a very sensitive matter actually. So we should be very careful because our life will be ruined. Our bhakti life goes off completely. So, but still we can see like there are when in the Prabhupada movement people when Prabhupada says like scientists they stepped on the moon or other planets and Prabhupada says these are bogus. I don't believe this. Then they question Prabhupada, they doubt Prabhupada, saying that how can you say there is a evidences? They brought sand, they brought stones, they have made a video. Then later it is proved wrong. But people like disciples who are there, they started condemning Prabhupada, saying that no, you are just not believing it, so we don't want to be there with you. They left. There's a misunderstanding. They didn't patiently wait for the conclusion what is there actually. They didn't see other side what scientists are doing. Just seeing is a believing, right? We also do that. So they thought like whatever they have seen that is right and what Prabhupada says is wrong. But Prabhupada says from the scriptures, it's not an easy task that you achieve with your mundane material gadgets. You can approach or you can reach the planet, other planets. No, you can't. It's impossible. Now also people they are doing that. That's all bogus. They can't conclude that they have achieved it. So, but Prabhupada never left them because Prabhupada was very compassionate, very compassionate. So, some other way they was brought back. Prabhupada never says like Prabhupada was very sad someone leaves. Prabhupada was very sad. He shared with his intimate disciples that somehow go and get him back. Somehow go and get them back. Prabhupada knows like if we leave Prabhupada, we don't have any other shelter. We don't have. Definitely we'll be going in a wrong direction. And Prabhupada was very merciful and he was accepting them back. So this questioning a guru or depending on the disciple is a very worse situation. गंजराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की।